Yo, what's going on, guys? It's JMS, and I got a really great adventure planned for today. So rather than exploring the United States as I usually do, I'm actually in a completely different country. I'm in the country of Bolivia. It's the largest landlocked nation in South America, and I'm actually north of the city of La Paz, which is the administrative capital of Bolivia. Now, La Paz is well known for being the highest capital city in the world, at around 12,000 feet. But today we're actually going to be even higher than that. I'm actually currently standing at 17,700 feet in altitude, which is 5,400 meters. And you can really feel the altitude. The oxygen is thin. Hiking up, I mean, I felt my lungs were bursting. But we got a really cool place we're going to be checking out today. I'm currently on the summit of Chacaltaya. Now, Chacaltaya is well known for having a ski resort that's now abandoned. Now, there used to be a glacier deposit on Chacaltaya, but unfortunately, due to global climate change, it has receded, and unfortunately, the glacier is no longer to be seen. You have splotches of snow here and there, but mostly it's just barren rock, as you can see. So in this video, we're going to be checking out an abandoned ski resort, the Chacaltaya Ski Resort, as well as the beautiful mountains surrounding me. So I'm going to take you guys along with me on my very first urban exploration adventure outside of the United States, here in the plurinational state of Bolivia, just north of the city of La Paz. I'm excited to take you guys with me and just check out the scenery, the cool ruins that the ski resort has to offer. And as always, guys, if you love urban exploration, traveling, and exploring, this time in Bolivia, well, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But we're going to get right into it and explore Chacaltaya, the abandoned Chacaltaya Ski Resort, and the beautiful mountain range surrounding me. Let's get started. So as you can see right here, this is the summit marker, 5,400 meters. Again, that's about 17,700 feet in altitude, way higher up than La Paz or even El Alto, the neighboring city, which I believe is about 13,000 feet. So we're very high up. You can see all the beautiful mountains behind us. That, it's kind of obscured by fog, but that right over there is one of the highest mountains. And again, this is the summit of Chacaltaya Mountain. And just past over there, which we're going to see in a little bit, is the abandoned ski resort, Chacaltaya Ski Resort. But at one point, you have to understand this was completely filled with snow. It was a glacial deposit, which has since receded due to global climate change. But yeah, this is very high up in altitude. Walking up here was pretty brutal. I really felt it in my lungs. I mean, I grew up in sea level, so this is new to me, but pretty cool. Absolutely gorgeous scenery, and we're going to just see what else there is in store. So as I mentioned, here and there you can see some splotches of snow. Don't get me wrong, it does snow up here. It actually snowed yesterday, but because of climate change, the glacial deposit that was once up here completely receded, so it's now completely barren rock. Yeah, just completely barren rock around here. But one cool thing I want to show you guys is one of the remnants of the ski lifts. So again, this was a former ski lift. It opened up in 1939. It was primarily used by the middle and upper class of Bolivian society. And it operated for many decades until the 90s and 2000s, when it completely closed down due to the receding snow. And I do apologize for my heavy breathing. It is very high up in this altitude. So you can see right here, they got one of the wheels that would turn the rope, moving the ski lift downward. And I'll show you some more remnants of that right over here. Check that out. You got some remnants of the rope right here from the ski lift. One of the ski lift towers right here. Very foggy today though, but stunning vistas. Look at that. So yeah, at one point this was the highest ski resort in the world, not just in Bolivia, in the world. And I believe it had about a 650-foot drop. So if you went skiing here, you would be plummeting downward. But yeah, this is one of the abandoned ski remnants right here on the summit of Chacaltaya, 5,400 meters up, or 17,700 feet above sea level. So I'm going to be making my way downward, down this little incline right here, and then we're going to check out the actual ski resort itself, which I'm really excited to show you guys. Here we are, guys. This is the abandoned Chacaltaya Ski Resort. Opened up in 1939, abandoned sometime between the 1990s and 2000s when the glacier began to recede. And you can see from here there's quite a few remnants. That right there is the main ski lodge. But that building over there, while I'm not entirely sure what that is a very iconic building because you can actually see it's basically leaning off the side of the cliff. So we're going to make our way down and see what buildings and ruins we can get inside. I do believe this one right here, we can peek inside. I do know some of the buildings here are off limits, but some of them we can actually go inside and explore. And you can see Club Andino Boliviano. That was actually the ski club that operated here. So if you were in the middle to upper class in Bolivian society, let's say you lived in El Alto or La Paz, and you were looking to spend a fun day, go skiing, you could join the Club Andino Boliviano, come here and do some fun skiing no matter the season. I mean, considering the altitude, you could probably come here in the summer and still get a ton of snow. So this is pretty cool right here. We got some ruins. I'm not entirely sure what building this was, but you can see this is completely built out of what seems to be maybe shale rock. Yeah, pretty cool looking inside. So at one point, this was some building that had to do with the Chacaltaya Ski Resort. And just to show you guys, up there is where we just came from. That is the summit, 5,400 meters up above sea level, the summit of Chacaltaya Mountain. And this is the ski resort itself. So we're gonna look a little bit more, see what's going on here, and hopefully we don't get caught in the snowstorm because dense fog just came in right now and it's already starting to snow a bit. But yeah, let's see what's happening. Hey guys, it's J-Mass. So unfortunately, I was never able to fully finish recording this video. I never got any more footage, which means I have to jump in and provide some narration over some pictures I took. There's two reasons as to why I couldn't finish filming. Firstly, after the end of the last clip, a severe hailstorm actually rolled in and pelted the mountain with chunks of hail. Secondly, the tour guide I was with had to return back to La Paz for another upcoming tour session. Essentially, I was out of time at Chacaltaya and had to rush for some last-minute pictures before leaving. However, Chacaltaya Ski Resort is such a unique abandoned location and it deserves to be recognized, so I'd like to go over some of the pictures I took before leaving the area. Firstly, I just want to show you some shots of the drive up to Chacaltaya. The ski resort was a little over 15 miles or 25 kilometers from where we started in La Paz, which was just over an hour bus ride. The views we saw when driving up were absolutely spectacular. You could see the cities of La Paz and El Alto in the distance, as well as the Cordillera Real mountain range, which is part of the Andes. The most notable mountain peak we could see was the Huayna Potosí, which was snow-capped even in the middle of the summer. As I mentioned previously, the Chacaltaya Ski Resort first opened in 1939 and operated for several decades up until the 18,000-year-old Chacaltaya Glacier completely melted away in 2009. From what I could gather, the ski resort officially ceased all operations in 2018. There are several remaining buildings on the premises today, and you can see nearly all of them in this shot right here. The main building, the ski lodge, is seemingly the only building that tourists are allowed to go inside. Most of the rooms are empty except for some public restrooms. Here, you can see the Club Andino Boliviano seal, welcoming past skiers to Chacaltaya, displaying the 1939 founding date. This was another room in the ski lodge featuring a random Boss Baby jump scare. Fun fact, Bolivia has very lax copyright laws, so it's quite common to see copyrighted American characters like this everywhere. While in the ski lodge, our tour guide kindly gave us some coca tea. If you don't know, Bolivia is one of the few countries where coca leaves are legal. While coca leaves are perhaps best known for being a major ingredient in cocaine, they are used by most Bolivians for their cultural, spiritual, and medicinal properties, with coca tea being a popular beverage. It can also treat altitude sickness in tourists. This building right here was once the ski resort's restaurant, known as the Refuge, which is recognized by Guinness World Records as the world's highest restaurant. While the ski resort has been closed for years now, the restaurant is still occasionally in use for serving food to tourists, allowing it to hold on to its record. Now this, in my opinion, was the most interesting building at the ski resort. This was the Chacaltaya Pyramid Laboratory, built in 2000 by the High Altitude Pulmonary and Pathology Institute. Consisting of green reflective glass and red iron, the pyramid was used both for treating altitude sickness and for research. The pyramid had a double-door airlock entrance, allowing users to change the oxygen levels inside the chamber. This allowed users inside the pyramid to enjoy the beautiful views surrounding Chacaltaya and more preferable oxygen levels, in stark contrast with the high altitude and its lower oxygen levels just outside. There's actually an informative plaque situated at this pyramid, which I'll read now. Chacaltaya Pyramid Laboratory, the highest in the world at 5,230 meters, built by the High Altitude Pulmonary and Pathology Institute, IPPA, from La Paz, Bolivia in March 2000 with the Egyptian Giza pyramid proportions in order to investigate and treat high-altitude disease. The last remaining building on the premises is this small, strange structure, likely leftover ruins of something larger. This thing is seemingly constructed out of shale rock, although it seems to be partially destroyed and in very poor condition. I'm not actually sure what this building is or what it was used for, but it was the only building at the ski resort I actually managed to film myself entering. Now, really briefly, I just want to give you guys an overhead view of Chacaltaya because I think getting a sense of the geography kind of helps in understanding the Chacaltaya Ski Resort. So right here is the La Paz metro area. You can see both the cities of La Paz and El Alto. And just north of La Paz, in this very mountainous and rugged region, is Chacaltaya. This right here is the Chacaltaya Mountain Peak, right up here. And just south of that is the abandoned Chacaltaya Ski Resort, the former world's highest ski resort. And you can see all the buildings right here. You got the ski lodge. Right here is the restaurant. And then, of course, you got the glass pyramid, the laboratory. This is the Chacaltaya Ski Resort. Now, really interesting, right up here is the Chacaltaya Observatory. Now, when I drove by this, it didn't really seem like there was anyone there, but it is still a manned observatory. And it seems like they do a myriad of things here. It's a research center. They actually researched gamma rays, and apparently in the 1940s, they were the first to observe pions, which is kind of cool. But they also do a lot of weather forecasting and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing I want to draw your attention to over here with the Chacaltaya Ski Resort is just how dry and barren this is. I mean, you don't see any snow anywhere, no snow, no ice, just barren rock. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned many times throughout this video, the Chacaltaya Ski Resort closed in 2019 due to the disappearance of the glacier that was once here. Now, the glacier began to melt away in the 1980s, and in 2009, it completely melted away. So at one point, there was a massive sheet of snow and ice here, which is the whole reason the ski resort existed. But by 2009, the glacier had completely melted, and by 2018, the ski resort shut down because they didn't really have a reason to exist anymore with no reliable source of snow and ice. Now, don't get me wrong, it still does snow in Chacaltaya. I mean, when I was there was a severe hailstorm that came in and some light snow, but nothing serious, nothing sustainable. One thing that's kind of interesting, check this out. If we head into this Google sphere right here, this photosphere, you can see this is a shot of Chacaltaya from 2019, a year after it closed. And right over here on this slope, you can see there's a very light dusting of snow. Now, this is a far cry from the glacier that used to be here. There used to be a thick sheet of snow and ice that was sustainable for the skiers that came from La Paz to Chacaltaya. Now it's just a very light coating of snow, barely enough to sustain skiing. You can see it's just too rugged for skiers. But you can see up here, you got the towers that were once hosting the ski lift. You would have ski chairs going up and down the mountain, for skiers to go down the slope. I can only imagine, when this thing was covered in dense snow and ice, that it was a lot more fun to ski down here. But yeah, now it's just a very light dusting of snow. This is really all that Chacaltaya gets nowadays. And I just wanted to show you this view of it because when I was there was no snow. This is what it would look like, or this is what it does look like nowadays when it snows. Just very light dusting, not enough to sustain skiing. But in a minute, I will show you guys what Chacaltaya looked like back in the day when it did have the glacier, when the glacier was still intact. I just want to end off by showing you a few pictures of what Chacaltaya looked like when the glacier was still intact and the ski resort was still operational. Here, you can see a contrast between the mountain in 1984, prior to the glacier melting away, and in 2012, long after the glacier disappeared. This is another before and after photo showing the ski resort itself covered in snow when the glacier still existed, versus the ski resort today, barren and dry. You can also see some shots of skiers using the Chacaltaya Ski Resort here, barreling down the snowy slope. This image dates back to 1983 when the ski resort was still operational. This is yet another image of a skier, this time in the 2000s, which happens to be the last decade in which the glacier existed in some capacity. If anything, these historical photos show the true impact that we have on climate change, downgrading a once thriving snowy ski resort to an abandoned set of buildings on a dry, barren rock face. Hey, thank you guys for joining me on yet another dope adventure, this time in La Paz, Bolivia. I had a lot of fun exploring Chacaltaya, both the mountain and the abandoned ski resort. It's an absolutely gorgeous, breathtaking area. I mean, figuratively and literally. I was out of breath the whole time. But Chacaltaya was absolutely stunning. I really loved it. Just a great place to explore. It was just fun to film in a completely different environment. I usually film in the United States, specifically New England, but it was really fun to be able to film in another country, especially Bolivia, a country I've really enjoyed visiting. This was actually my second time visiting Bolivia, but my first time visiting Chacaltaya, and I really do recommend it. I do just want to apologize. I really had the plan to film an entire video in Chacaltaya. I wanted to show you guys all of the buildings up close and personal. I want to go inside some of them, but unfortunately, due to circumstances outside of my control, I was unable to truly film the entire video that I wanted to. I had to stop early because of a hailstorm and because the tour guide I was with had to go back to La Paz much more suddenly than I expected. So I hope you still enjoyed all the pictures and narration. I know it's a little different than usual, but I didn't want to just end off with half a video. I still want to give you guys the whole Chacaltaya history and experience. Again, wish I could have filmed the entire thing, but I'm glad I got the footage I did, and I'm glad I still got to share my experiences with you. But as always, guys, if you love urban exploration, checking out abandoned sites, and travel, both in New England and in Bolivia, well, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm always doing that. Or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. I'm really looking forward to do more international travel in the future. I really love it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. I have a lot planned for 2024, and I'm excited to have started it off with a bang with this Chacaltaya Ski Resort video. Catch you guys on the next one. See you later.